Hey, ya folks! In the last episode, we outlined how representative democracy is supposed to work, which illuminated the fact that it's not working as intended. In this episode, we'll outline a proposal that might just get us back on track. If that sounds good to you, welcome to the show. Do we need politics to have a government? Are these two things irrevocably connected? I say no, but who the hell am I? Well, the first thing to know about me is that I shouldn't be here. I have no academic pedigree, my family's not political, and anyone who has known me would have never anticipated that I would publish a book and give talks on the function of government. Simply put, I'm a recovering idiot. For most of my life, I paid little attention to government affairs. And even when I did start paying attention, I fell into the trap of thinking there was nothing I could do to change things. Feeling helpless to change things is a dark place to be. Which leads me to the second thing to know about me is that I shouldn't be here. I struggled with debilitating depression for years. At my lowest point, I walked out into a field, put a gun in my mouth, and at that moment, it all gets a bit blurry. I woke up in that field with a new sense of purpose. A profound curiosity came over me, and I dedicated my life to figuring out how to leave this world a better place. In a rather jaded, smart-ass kind of way, I decided that there is no way we can't do better than this as a society. I began asking questions and reading a lot. I shouldn't be here, but I am. And I firmly believe we can have a government without politics. It is an opinion I share with some folks you might have actually heard of. When George Washington and Alexander Hamilton wrote Washington's farewell address, they included multiple warnings about the dangers of political parties. They wrote, "The alternate domination of one faction over another, sharpened by the spirit of revenge, natural to party dissension, which in different ages and countries has perpetuated the most horrid enormities, is itself a frightful despotism." They're saying that political parties are just as bad as having a king, and maybe even worse because they're always acting in the spirit of revenge. It is clear that Washington and Hamilton thought that any good a political party might do is overshadowed by the dangers of their excess. If they were here to see the state of our nation today, they would rightly be able to claim, "I told you so." We need to change the system. We need to remove the power that political parties have over our government. But how? What could we do? At this point, you might have guessed that I wouldn't have gone to all this trouble if I didn't have an idea to share. And you'd be right. I'm sure we can all agree that something needs to change. The politicians aren't going to change anything. They benefit too much from the current system. The media isn't going to change anything. They too benefit from the current system. The corporations, the lobbyists, and the rest of the power structure aren't going to do anything to change because they benefit too much from the current system. So it's up to us. We need to devise a cure so potent and effective that no one can do anything to stop it. One little pill that we slip into the system that eliminates the power of politics. It wasn't the size of the stone that took down Goliath. It was David's precision. The cure to our current illness needs to clearly identify the target and deliver the strike with David's level of precision. It would be ineffective to try to tackle all the problems we face at one time. We need to get Goliath on the ground before we can make all the changes that are needed. We can have a government without politics. In fact, for our union to survive, we need a government without politics. Will there still be politics? Sure. But our government needs to be immune to political power. Political power is our Goliath. We need one small shot, delivered with precision, to bring down the Goliath of political power. The great news is that the Founding Fathers gave us the tools we need to get this done. It is quite simple, actually. It's no more complicated than David's stone. In fact, it is the simplicity that gives it the power. We need every U.S. citizen to understand their role and make a few small moves to bring down the Goliath of political power. We can come together, united by our desire to leave our children a better world than we inherited, and free our government to serve the will of the people as designed. What is that one small shot that will bring down political power? Once again, we'll look to Washington and Hamilton for advice. They urge us to use the mechanics of the Constitution to make change, because working outside the Constitution, even for a just cause, opens the door to bad intentions of unprincipled people. With that in mind, here is my proposal. One small shot. An amendment to the U.S. Constitution that states, political parties, unions, and organized groups of any kind may hold no advantage over an independent individual in any election process. It's that simple. We need independent elected officials that are not beholden to a political party. We need elected leaders who resist the urge to give more power to themselves, even though it's within their power to do so. You might say, that all sounds great, but how the heck do we do that? Step 1, share. First, we need to share the plan for this far and wide. We need to show the value of this amendment to every U.S. citizen and gather overwhelming support. Step 2, affirm or replace. Secondly, we need every elected official to affirm their support for the amendment. If they won't, we need to vote out or recall every elected official that won't pledge to support this amendment. Step 3, pass the amendment. Thirdly, we need good folks to run for those seats, pass this 28th Amendment. Public support and pressure will ensure ratification by at least 38 states. Many of us may look at the mess that is our current government and hold a jaded view. That is totally understandable. But I ask you, can you look into the eyes of a child and tell them that there is nothing you can do to make their future better than this? Folks probably thought David was crazy to try to take down Goliath with a small stone, but he was undaunted by their jeers. He was brave and he persisted, and with focus and precision, he did what many thought to be impossible. With a small stone. Your stone is your support for this amendment. It is a simple step to a better world, and you cannot leave that stone in your pocket. No one can cast it for you. You can't sit this one out. Much is at stake, and many have sacrificed a lot to get us here. It is absolutely clear that change is necessary. We must recognize that it's the responsibility of all of us to protect the opportunity of liberty that we were born into. Liberty, like justice, is a moving target. We must constantly be moving towards a more perfect union. And it is our responsibility to rise to the occasion when it becomes clear that our services are needed. Folks, it is clear that our services are needed. Join with a multitude of your fellow citizens and continue the work of the founders of our nation. Let's pass this amendment and rid ourselves of the scourge of political power. Oh, and one more thing to know about me. I am not lazy and I am not afraid. You can support this work by liking and subscribing, and most importantly, by sharing. And check out my book. It's available on Amazon, Audible, Kindle, and iTunes. Thanks for watching, and until next time, we'll be conducting business and engineering a better world.